Good afternoon. Please be seated. My name is Tim Crane. I am the Pro-Rector for Foresight and Analysis at CEU. On behalf of the Central European University, I would like to extend a warm welcome to you on the occasion of the opening of the 2023-24 academic year, the 33rd in the history of our institution. Honoured guests, dear colleagues, ladies and gentlemen, our ceremony begins with the opening remarks by our President and Rector, Shalini Randeria.
So let me wait a minute. There are several students coming in. Dear CEU community, as every September, I'm really delighted to extend a warm welcome to the nearly 700 new students joining our university and our uniquely vibrant academic community here in Vienna. May I please request the incoming cohort of the academic year 2023-24 to rise. On behalf of the Board of Trustees of the Central European University, also on behalf of our returning students, the esteemed faculty members, our dedicated staff, and everyone who's gathered here today, a warm welcome to all of you to CEU. Please be seated. This is a very special occasion for all of us. It's the start of a new academic year. It always brings with it a feeling of excitement, also of expectation. As we open our doors to a new cohort of remarkable students, we are once again reminded of the importance of constantly remaining open to new ideas and to new challenges during our joint voyage of intellectual discovery and collaboration with you. As my colleagues know all too well, we can always count on our students to enrich and expand our horizons just as much as we hope to help you achieve the same. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, let me emphatically assure you that CEU is much more than just an educational institution. We are a diverse community of students, faculty and staff from over 100 different countries, and we proudly stand for the values of open society, of academic freedom, of critical thinking in the face of growing intolerance, authoritarianism, and dogmatism in the world today. We are firmly dedicated to the highest standards of academic excellence, which of course all of you will profit from and also contribute to. The CEU has been continuously ranked among the 100 best universities in the world in several disciplines, so I can only commend you on your choice to pursue your undergraduate or your graduate degrees with us. Your experience here should hopefully contribute to your personal development as much as to your professional development. You are in a fascinating city, so do take the time off to savor Vienna's rich historical heritage and cultural milieu. You have an extraordinary opportunity to amass a wealth of memorable experiences here, so do make the most of what this beautiful city has to offer. But also engage with your peers, seek out new friendships, take advantage of all the resources available to you on and off our campus. Your fellow students, professors, and our dedicated staff are here to help you. Thank you very much for choosing Central European University and for being with us today. Let's make this academic year one which is filled with joy and inspiration for all of us. And a warm welcome to all of you.
Thank you, Shalini. We continue with a short musical interlude. I'm happy to present a colleague, Dora Vona, who has been working at the CEU Student Centre since 2020. In her free time, Dora pursues a musical career as a singer and performs in a variety of groups. Today, she's invited Valentin Šupić on the piano and Victoria Kirilova on the bass to accompany her. They perform a song entitled Young at Heart, written by Johnny Richards and Carolyn Lee. The piece conveys a message about the importance of cherishing imagination and youth.
Fairy tales can come true. It can happen to you if you're young at heart. Though it's hard, you will find to be narrow of mind if you're young at heart. You can go to extremes with impossible schemes. You can laugh when your dreams fall apart at the seams, and life gets more exciting with each passing day. And love is either in your heart or on the way. Don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you derive out of being alive. Here is the best part: you have a head start. If you are among the very young at heart, don't you know that it's worth every treasure on earth to be young at heart? For as rich as you are, it's much better by far to be young at heart. And if you should survive to 105, look at all you derive out of being alive. Here's the best part: you have a head start if you are among the very young at heart.
Thank you very much. And now we ask two CEU students to address us. First, a continuing student, followed by an incoming student. Leila Shavandi is a second-year MA student in the History Department here at CEU. Leila completed her BA and MA, her first MA in English Literature in Iran, and was active as a teacher and editor before coming to CEU. The social and political situation in Iran motivated her to study the social history of Iran with a focus on gender and religion. Currently, she's a second-year master's student in comparative history, and she's planning to continue her research by studying for a PhD. Please welcome Leila Shavandi. Leila, please come forward.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for this opportunity. When I was coming to Vienna, the protests in Iran, following the murder of Mahsa Jina Amini, at the hand of the morality police, were just beginning. These ongoing protests changed us Iranians in many ways. Most importantly, I believe, they brought to the eye the marginal and forgotten identities. They cast light on a moment of revelation that to break free from tyranny, one should fight not only for one's own interests, but one should also fight for the right of the other. In the light of that epiphany, I would like to use this opportunity to emphasize the importance of strengthening academia as a front against the cruelty and injustice of a world that mostly follows a profit-oriented policy. Concerning this, I want to draw attention to the importance of CEU's mission to provide students from deprived social economic backgrounds with the opportunities of education. One of the main factors that made it possible for me to be here and pursue my education has been the financial aid CEU offered me. In recent years, many of us have been hit by war and political and economic and environmental instability, like all the people from Ukraine, Sudan, Yemen, Afghanistan, Iran, to name just a few. CEU itself, as some of you might know and others will quickly learn, has faced difficulties when it was forced out of Budapest by the authoritarian government of Viktor Orban. This situation requires CEU to come up with new solutions and maybe new policies to cope with political, economic, and environmental turmoil, yet keep prioritizing its core value of providing students from deprived backgrounds with educational opportunities. The diversity which we are proud of in our university can only be truly kept by sticking to this mission. And a student body believes that CEU can find the best solution only with consultation and help of CEU community in a transparent process, especially with regard to financial policies. It is unfortunate, for instance, that Advanced Certificate for Religious Studies, which pays my stipend, is facing budget reduction. It is of utmost importance not to take any steps back from democratic values and not to lose the principles of academic freedom and excellence, inclusivity and diversity to a marketing mentality that only seeks financial interests. I would like to encourage all of you to participate in this process, to come up with new ideas, and to strengthen the valuable core mission of our university. I want to end with an example. OLIVE, which is an open learning initiative running education programs for displaced people in Europe with the participation of CEU since 2015, faced a lot of problems last year. I am happy that CEU has promised that OLIVE will continue from this January onwards, and I believe that it will be continued in its totality with transparency and with the same quality and strengths as before. At the end, I hope that everyone can find CEU as welcoming and supportive as I found it. I am very happy that we, as the continuing students, are going to hear the new perspectives of the new coming. I wish you a beginning of the academic year with big motivations and dreams for making of a better world for everyone. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Leila. Our next speaker is Lucia Anna Demain. Lucia is an incoming MA student in human rights, focusing her research on refugee women's rights and political participation. As the seventh child of her family, she's believed to possess magical powers, so I'm told, so feel free to seek her out for luck before the exams.
Just to be clear, I can't promise good grades, but I'll do my best to be a good witch during the academic year. However, I would like to welcome all ladies and gentlemen, our esteemed faculty, and most importantly, fellow incoming students. It is with great pride and excitement that I stand before you as the representative of the incoming students of 2023, and I feel privileged to share a few words in celebration. Although my academic journey at CEU starts today, I chose our university many years ago. The path that led me here was much like the journey depicted in Dante's Inferno. I felt alone on my professional path, wandering in solitude, despite my powerful inner calling. However, my deep longing to fulfill my purpose, to find a community bound together by unconstrained knowledge, noble aspirations, and shared values, led me here. I chose our university when I joined the 2017 marches and chanted, "I stand with CEU." I chose our university when I realized that there is an institution that embodies the same values that drive my life. And finally, I chose CEU when at an open course at the university back at Budapest, I finally found the sense of belonging I was looking for. The interdisciplinary perspectives, the appreciation of diversity and democratic attitude I experienced here were deeply liberating. This encounter gave me the space to recognize the value and validity of my own mission and the force to fight through the challenges and find my way here. I believe that although we have different passions and aspirations, we somehow share this journey together. Like me, many of you come from countries with autocratic regimes and declining democracies. Many have traveled across continents, left behind relationships and the safety of family and friends to be here. Therefore, our presence today is a testament to our strength, to our shared pursuit of excellence, and to the light we carry within. This in itself is a remarkable achievement that deserves celebration. This is the moment when we step into empowerment. I would therefore like to mark this moment as a celebration of our arrival. Let us be proud of ourselves. Let us look around and bow to each other in respect of the power we all carry. And in closing, we must remember that our education is not confined to lecture halls and seminar rooms. Together, we have the opportunity and the responsibility to create change that extends far beyond the walls of this institution. Let our time here be marked not only by academic excellence, but also by the bonds we forge and the impact we collectively achieve. The time has come for our inner light to shine brightly and to illuminate the path that we are embarking upon. It is time to step into our respective callings and unleash the potential that brought us to CEU. Congratulations to us all for arriving here. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Lucia. It's now my great pleasure to introduce Professor Eva Wittenberg, representing the CEU faculty. Eva Wittenberg is a linguist who works on how we understand language, how words help us make sense of the world around us, and how humans have evolved the capacity for communication. She directs the Language Comprehension Lab in the Department of Cognitive Science here at CEU, and she's a member of the Senate, which is the group of elected staff, students and faculty that oversees academic matters at CEU. Please welcome Eva Wittenberg.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everybody. I'm very happy and extremely honored to welcome all of you in the name of the entire faculty to a new academic year at Central European University. I especially welcome those of you for who this is the first year at university, and don't worry, you can keep seated. You've already done your part today. Of all the many days in my life, I really remember my first day at university very well. Actually, I don't remember everything, but I had heard, just like you somehow, that there was an opening ceremony. And I don't remember the opening ceremony at all, so, it was a bit boring probably. But what I do remember is that I randomly sat next to another girl, Adelheid, who quickly became my very best friend. So maybe before you leave here, it's worth introducing yourself to the person next to you. What Adelheid and I shared, and what I can imagine, before you leave, not right now maybe. What Adelheid and I shared, and what I imagine you might feel today, is great excitement. Honestly, mostly to be away from home, right? Finally, I was in a big city all by myself. I had zero money, but that didn't matter, because Berlin, where I studied, had a lot to offer, and that's the same in Vienna. There's so many things you can do, right? You can go swimming in the Danube for another week, the weather is nice. Wine tasting in the hills all fall, techno parties, last-minute tickets to the opera, coffee houses to work in, outdoor movies. Vienna is yours, and I really hope that you enjoy it. What I also remember about my first day at university was obviously the excitement to finally start my studies. Honestly, I was vaguely terrified. My university in Berlin had 40,000 students in buildings all across the city. No professor knew your name. It was an enormous ship, an ocean liner of a university. Big ships do have their charms. You've seen Titanic? But almost nothing ever changes their course. Students and staff and professors are tiny, insignificant passengers. And if one of us fell off the rails, nobody would even notice. In contrast, here at CEU, we are on a small ship on which every single passenger counts, from the captain to the cook. We all sail this ship together. For you as students, this means that here, we faculty want to know you as individuals. We actually read your papers, and we dedicate much of our time to your intellectual journey. What I personally find particularly exciting is that every single member of the CEU crew is connected by an invisible intellectual thread. We all ask, how do people live together? How do we organize our community, our economy, our social networks? How do individual brains connect so that we can do things together and understand each other? We all share here this fascination with human social life. We are an entire university dedicated to understanding it. For us as faculty and staff, and as you may guess, I'm also speaking a little bit with my Senate hat on, being on a small ship means that we are still collectively learning how to sail new Austrian waters. CEU has mastered stormy waters before and left its mark on the world, even though it is basically a teenager, right? Compared to the average European university, we're a baby, or maybe 33 teenager counts. We are an incredible success story, one that was achieved through many hardships and sacrifices, but we're an institution that didn't bow to pressure and pushed on through, impressing people all around the world. Now that we've arrived in Vienna, the question for our teenager of a university is, who do we want to be? For many teenagers, this question leads to, much regretted tattoos and questionable hairstyles. For our teenage university, though, this is an incredible, unique opportunity. A new beginning provides some freedom to reinvent ourselves now, building on our strengths, and firmly guided by the beacon of our core mission, which has been newly lit here in Vienna, to support open and democratic societies that respect human rights and human dignity, and to pursue the creation of new knowledge. This new chapter is greatly exciting and obviously challenging. We need all hands on deck, including you, students. You are the reason that we sail this ship in the first place, hoping that you'll carry on the values of CEU in your future. In practical terms, what does this mean for all of us? Well, let's be real. Some of the bridges we will build over the next few years, some of the bridges we will cross over the next few years, will be built while we walk on them, and sometimes you will notice. But with patience, mutual respect, and trust in our core values, we have every reason to be optimistic about CEU's new chapter, which you are starting today. There's one other thing I remember of my first day, that when I went to my tiny student room that evening, I felt confident. I had understood that I was starting to build my own life and that I was free to learn through trial and error. And I still do, you know. The first draft of the speech got completely trashed by my partner, so I had to rewrite it. And it might still not be memorable, you know, like we'll see that in 20 years, but it's not as bad as before. Now this, less drastically, hopefully, will happen to you, right? Sometimes, especially at the beginning, your work will need stark revisions to meet the standards that you set yourself by joining CEU. It's our job as faculty to tell you and help you meet them, to fulfill the promise you made to yourself by embarking on your academic journey with us. It won't always be a cruise, but cruises are boring, and we're too young for them. So let's start this journey together at a world-class university in a beautiful city with people who may become, or probably will become, your new best friends. And since we're in Vienna, and since I was asked to speak in German too, let me welcome you in German as well for good luck. Ein ganz herzliches Willkommen im Namen der Lehrenden der Central European University. Ich wünsche uns allen ein erfolgreiches, glückliches und erfülltes akademisches Jahr. Wie der Karl Valentin gesagt hätte, der war jetzt zwar aus München, aber im Geist bestimmt eher Wiener. Heute ist die gute alte Zeit von morgen. Today is the good old times of tomorrow. So let's make sure that in the future we have reason to cherish the good old times as much as the present. Vielen Dank, many thanks, and good luck.
Thank you very much, Eva. We continue with our second musical interlude. This time, Dora, Victoria, and Valentine perform a song by one of the greatest jazz composers, Miles Davis, entitled Four. Inspired by the tune, Jon Hendricks drafted a lyric which recalls 4 fundamental values: truth, honor, happiness, and love.
All the wonderful things that you get out of life, there are 4. And there may not be many, but nobody needs any more. Of the many facts making the list of life, truth takes the lead, and to relax, knowing the gist of life, it's truth you need. And the second is honor, and happiness makes number 3. When you put them together, you know what the last one must be. Baby, so it's truth, honor, and happiness. And one thing more, meaning of the wonderful, wonderful love that'll make it for. Sweet takes the lead, and to relax, knowing the gist of life. It's truth you need, and the second is on when happiness makes number 3. When you put them together, you know what the last one must be. Baby, so it's truth, honor, and happiness. Add one thing more, meaning only that's the real score. And more than enough when times are tough, and so they may not comprise a lot. Still, you only got those 4, and there ain't no more.
In the next and last part of our ceremony, we will present 2 awards. First, the Presidential Scholar Awards, and then the European Award for Excellence in Teaching in the Social Sciences and Humanities. CEU's Presidential Scholar Awards are supported by a generous donation to the university and its students from our distinguished Professor of History and former CEU President and Rector, Michael Ignatieff, and his wife, Zsuzsanna Zohar. Their gift celebrates the excellence and leadership demonstrated by the recipients. The Presidential Awards program was launched in 2020, together with our undergraduate studies programs, to support ongoing exchange between our graduate and undergraduate students. I'd like to welcome Rector Emeritus Michael Ignatieff to confer this year's Presidential Scholar Awards.
Welcome to everybody. You folks are lucky. I have sat at, I think, 7 opening ceremonies in my time as rector and rector emeritus, and I think we just heard the best speeches I've heard at these things. So, Layla and Lucia and Eva, thank you. Wow, that was great. And Dora's just left, but I wanted to tell her that's my kind of music, so that was great. All right, let's get down to business. My job is to present to you this year's Presidential Scholar Awards. As you've heard, this is a gift made possible by myself and my wife to create strong incentives for academic excellence, and to do so in a way that assists students with some of the costs, which are steep, of studying in Vienna. So that was the aim of these awards. And we're going to present some awards to people whom I don't get to choose them, so it's honest, right? We're going to award these prizes to people whom we think are showing unusual and special academic promise. And so let me announce their names, and then as I announce their names, if they could come up that way and then come along here, and I give them these awards. The undergraduate scholarship, the first recipient from Germany is Max Johann Petershagen, who's a BA in Philosophy, Politics, and Economics. The next undergraduate scholarship is to a student in doing a BA in Culture, Politics, and Society, and she's from the United States, and her name is Nina Lukács. At the graduate level, the graduate award at the master's level from the Ukraine is Ole Majeski in the Department of Economics and Business. Ole, come forward. Oleg told me just before the ceremony that he is here to do research on the economics of reconstructing his country. I think the entire room, wishes him every possible success in that project. We also have an award at the MA level for Ruben Mate Jengabarian of the Department of Political Science, but he's not here. He's from Hungary, and so we'll move on to the doctoral award recipients. They are a PhD candidate in the Doctoral School of Political Science, Public Policy, and International Relations, and she's from Brazil. Her name is Rebecca Marques Roca. And finally, from the Doctoral School of Political Science, Public Policy, and International Relations, from Romania, Vlad Sordea Hernea.
Thank you very much, Michael, and congratulations to all the candidates. I would now like to ask my colleague, Pro-Rector for Teaching and Learning, Eva Fodor, to confer this year's European Teaching Excellence Award.
Hello and welcome, everybody. It is our tradition to present the European Award for Excellence in Teaching in the Social Sciences and Humanities at the opening of the academic year, as we welcome our incoming class. CEU launched this award in 2011 to recognize outstanding educators in the social sciences and humanities from the 48 countries of the European higher education area. The award is supported by a generous donation, a generous endowment gift from Stephen and Linda Diener in memory of Ilona Diener, so now it is called the Diener Prize. The recipient of the award are selected by a prestigious international committee to reward innovative teaching methods, problem-oriented teaching, and sustained excellence in education. Previous recipients were drawn from universities in Austria, Ireland, the Netherlands, Germany, Italy, Great Britain, and Hungary. I would like now to announce and welcome this year's winner of the European Award for Excellence in Teaching in the Social Sciences and Humanities, Dr. Ernesto Vázquez del Aguila. Let me introduce him first. Dr. Ernesto Vázquez del Aguila is Assistant Professor and Director of Teaching and Learning at the School of Social Policy, Social Work, and Social Justice at University College Dublin, Ireland. As a medical anthropologist, his teaching and research focus on masculinities, sexualities, migration, and global health. As an educator, Dr. Vázquez del Aguila has gained renown for his inclusive approaches to education, incorporating insights from universal design for learning, promoting co-learning, and cultivating a community of learners. He has created several interactive and inclusive resources to engage students inside and outside the classroom, and I hope he'll share them with us. More broadly, his work demonstrated a commitment to challenging established norms in and decolonizing education. Professor Vázquez del Aguila, it is my great pleasure to hand over this year's award.
Madam President, Prorectors, distinguished colleagues, students, and members of the CEU community. I'm deeply humbled and profoundly grateful to be here today to accept this prestigious award, the European Award for Excellence in Teaching the Social Sciences and Humanities. It is wonderful that the Central European University, through the Yehuda Elkanah Center, recognizes endeavors in teaching through this award. This award means so much to educators like me, the recognition that teaching should be at the very center of academic activities. I'm a scholar from the Global South who comes from a generation that believes that education is the path to liberation and social mobility. Global inequalities make it more difficult for our students from disadvantaged backgrounds to access and succeed in higher education. I firmly and stubbornly believe that education is the most powerful tool to empower our students to achieve social justice and ultimately to change the world. We live in an increasingly diverse and multicultural societies, which of course is a good thing, but they require us to create an educational environment that is committed to the coloniality, intersectionality, and inclusivity for all. New technologies, including artificial intelligence, pose challenges, but also potentially bring some opportunities to creatively and collaboratively work to achieve social inclusion for our students and more broadly. Teaching is electrifying. I aim to create a community of researchers among my students and foster curiosity and the love for learning. I believe that it is fundamental to conceive of our students as partners in the process of teaching and learning, and to promote kindness, empathy, and compassion as the skills embedded in our educational practices. Finally, please allow me to thank my mother, Adelina, in the Amazon in Peru, who believed in the power of education and had the determination that her children will go to university. To my husband and partner, Alan Gibbons, who is my constant and inspiration. To my teachers and colleagues across different continents who taught me the passion for research and teaching. To the School of Social Policy, Social Work and Social Justice, College of Social Sciences and Law at University College Dublin in Ireland. To the Central European University, the Yehuda Center, and to my students with whom I share this award and this journey on continuous learning. I'm so happy to receive this award that represents an honor and a responsibility for me. Thank you very much. Muchas gracias.
And now we conclude our opening ceremony for CEU's 2023-24 academic year. In the recent past, our work has been exposed to external troubles that have impacted the university severely. Let us hope that we shall be spared of them, but also be prepared to cope with any that come our way. We wish all of you a successful academic year.